Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liam and today we're back with another exciting topic, learning a language through films and series. This video is kind of like a follow-on from learning a language through music, because listening to music and watching films and series are two of the most effective ways to actually learn a language. When you're watching films and series, you're exposing yourself to more accents, more dialects, more idiomatic expressions, cultural nuances, and you're basically just getting used to how the language is fully used in everyday conversation, which is something which many textbooks and traditional language learning methods like online courses can lack. So learning a language through films and series is one of the most effective ways you'll be able to sound more native when you're speaking. So let's get started with this video. When learning a language through films and series, content selection and choosing the right content is crucial. However, content selection can vary depending on whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner. As a beginner, we have little or no prior knowledge of the language whatsoever, which makes it difficult for us to understand how the language is actually used in everyday life. We can have difficulties getting used to the pronunciation and the grammar of the language. So the question is, can we really learn a language through films and series as a beginner? The answer is yes. However, you should focus on content which is slower and more easy to understand, such as YouTube videos designed for beginners themselves, children's cartoons, or even language and travel discovery shows. This type of content is typically designed for either children or language learners, which is exactly what we need as beginners, slower paced content with simple vocabulary. As an intermediate learner, you should focus on content which challenges you a bit more, but not too much. For example, you could look at popular TV shows, dramas, or even cooking shows. This type of content will challenge your language skills and your listening abilities without making it too overwhelming for you to understand. And as an advanced learner, on the other hand, you should look at content which is more like native level standard, looking at native level dialogues, idiomatic expressions, and trying to find cultural insights. For example, looking at the news, watching documentaries, popular films, interviews, or even region-specific content. Actually, when it comes to content selection, one resource I can recommend for this is Lingopie. Lingopie is a tool which allows you to learn a language through films and series, and the amount of content they offer is perfect because it's suitable for beginners, intermediates, and advanced learners. In fact, I recently discovered Lingopie and it's really quickly become my go-to resource for learning a language through films and series, and that's because of its unique features. One of the features I find incredibly useful about Lingopie is the interactive subtitles, where you can hover over a subtitle and it will automatically pause the video for you and show you the translation of the word. However, the subtitles are also double, which means the subtitles will be shown in your target language and your native language simultaneously, which means it's perfect for comprehending exactly what the speakers are saying. When you come across a word you don't know, you can click on it and then it gets automatically added into your vocabulary deck. And then at the end of the content you were watching, you were given the kind of like this pop quiz, which then you can review all the words which you didn't know in the content and make sure that you've remembered them properly. You can also review these words anytime because they're saved into your vocabulary deck, and then you can use flashcards or other interactive quizzes to be able to review them, and this is perfect for progress tracking and also making sure that the words and everything you've learned sticks in your memory. Lingopie also offers this voice recognition feature, which I absolutely love, and I find this perfect for finding out how well you're pronouncing each word and how good your pronunciation is, because using this voice recognition actually gives me honest feedback about how well my pronunciation and my accent is, so that I can tell how much I need to improve it. And then I give it a second try, a third try, and each time my accent improves, and I just love that feature. It's probably my favorite feature of the whole app because pronunciation is the thing which I really focus on at the moment in language learning. Lingopie is also integrated with Netflix, so you can watch your favorite films and series directly through Netflix with the integration of Lingopie, which means that you can use Lingopie's amazing features to make the content you are watching on Netflix easier to interact with and to understand. Currently, Lingopie is offering a huge 70% off on their lifetime plan, which means you'll get all of these amazing features for a lifetime. So if you enjoy learning a language through films and series and you're actually serious about learning a language, I could totally recommend Lingopie to you. It's one of my favorite resources now and I absolutely love using it, and I think you'll find it just as useful as I have. So if you want to give it a try, I've got the link in the description. You can click on that and give it a go. Okay, now let's start talking about active learning strategies for beginners, intermediate and advanced learners. We'll start with beginners. As a beginner, you need to watch the content with subtitles. If possible, the subtitles should be in both your target language and your native language at the same time. The technique with a beginner is to focus on watching the content subtitle by subtitle. What I mean by this is at the end of each subtitle, pause the video, focus on what they've just said in that subtitle, try and repeat it yourself several times, repeat the subtitle several times, and just try and get used to how to pronounce it. Once you feel comfortable, move on to the next subtitle and do the same thing. While you're watching, make sure to keep a language journal or a notebook or anything handy where you can jot down all the new words and phrases you encounter, as well as the example sentence you found it in and in which context. Then make sure to regularly revise what you've just learned, either through flashcards or by regularly revising your notebook, because consistent practice is going to make sure it stays in your long-term memory for a lot longer, and consistent practice is key in language learning. Moving on to intermediate learners, the focus is now no longer on subtitles but rather on scenes. So instead of watching subtitle by subtitle, now focus on scene by scene. However, still keep on following the same techniques as a beginner. So watch a whole scene and then after finishing that scene, rewind the video and try rewatching that scene again several times until you're familiar with what's going on in the scene and how they're pronouncing each and every single word. Also continue making notes in your notebook with the context of the word you found it in, and keep on regularly revising that. One useful technique for intermediate learners, however, is shadowing, where you basically try and copy exactly what the speaker is saying in real time as they say it, trying to fully imitate and mimic their pronunciation, accent, and intonation. This will make you even more used to the natural rhythm and natural flow of the language while also improving your overall pronunciation and fluency. Also, if you're up to the challenge, try watching the content without subtitles or even without looking at the video in general. So for example, look away or close your eyes and then try and understand the context of the content by just relying solely on your ears. Because a lot of the time when we're watching through films and series, we rely on the actual visual aids to be able to help us understand what is going on in the content. However, when we're looking away from the content and just relying solely on our ears, that challenges us to actually understand what's going on in the video and what the characters are saying and doing without relying on looking at their actions and the visual aids. This will help you challenge your listening skills and see how much you can actually understand just by listening. Now let's shift our focus to advanced learners. Now advanced learners are in quite a unique position because you already understand a lot of what's going on in the content. However, there are still a lot of things we can do to be able to improve our level and make it truly to that native speaker standard. The main focus of an advanced learner should be on understanding the cultural content, understanding cultural nuances, and understanding all these idiomatic expressions which make you feel more like a native speaker. To do this, keep taking detailed notes like beginners and intermediates, but this time focus more on idiomatic expressions and advanced vocabulary. Also, keep using the shadowing technique. Also, you can compare subtitles by looking at the subtitles in your target language and then looking at it in your native language, because typically subtitles aren't translated literally. They're translated to be able to capture the cultural essence of the language and to be able to express it in a way a native speaker would, which means that translations typically aren't literal, and by comparing these translations you can get a better understanding of how native speakers would use the language themselves. As an advanced language learner, you should also consider using external resources on top of the content you are watching. For example, if you've just watched a film in your target language, then consider joining online forums or discussing with a native friend or online language partner about the content you have just watched. Have discussions about it, and then this is practicing your conversational skills while also getting insights to what natives actually think about the own film that you are watching, and this basically just improves your overall cultural understanding of the language while also improving your conversational skills. You could also consider diving into the cultural context behind the content you are watching, because as an advanced language learner, and I'm indirectly repeating this like 1,000 times without really directly saying it, the focus on as an advanced learner is not just about learning words and phrases here and there and being able to construct complex grammar rules. It's about understanding the cultural meaning behind the language and the culture, and understanding the people and the country. So rather than just focusing on words and phrases, try and delve into the cultural insights of the language. This is going to really improve and enhance your appreciation for the language, and also make you feel a lot more native. Another one of the main focuses for advanced learners is to diversify the content. Unfortunately, I couldn't really come up with many practical strategies for advanced learners which are extremely different from beginners and intermediate strategies. However, diversing the content is one of the main things you can do to improve your language skills. Make sure as an advanced learner to watch a variety of different content, to be able to make sure you're understanding completely how the language is used in everyday situations, to be able to get used to different accents, different pronunciations which may vary from region to region, and make sure that you're getting used to the idiomatic expressions and everything about the language which may not be that obvious as a beginner or an intermediate learner. Delve into the advanced stages of the language, which is why it's called advanced learner. This approach will not only help you get used to the language better, but also get you to have a better understanding of the culture and the country, which is what I've said so many times already, that culture is really important. Cultural understanding is really important in language learning, especially as an advanced learner. Overall, learning a language through films and series is an invaluable approach for all language learners of all stages. When you're learning through films and series, you're really understanding how the language is used in everyday context, and it can really enhance your listening skills. And using resources like Lingopie is something I can really recommend as well, because Lingopie, with its interactive subtitles, interactive quizzes and all that, makes the language learning journey or experience just a lot more fun, engaging, and extremely useful. So I can recommend learning a language through films and series, and even consider giving Lingopie a try, because this will really enhance your language learning journey, as it has done with me. If you found this video useful, then please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and also share your personal experience with learning a language through films and series in the comment section. And if you have any further advice, I'd love to hear it myself as well, because I'm always on the lookout for new ways I can experiment with different techniques in my language learning journey. And if you have anything which I haven't mentioned in this video, I would love to hear it. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.